All this ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation. Welcome to the Killarney International Raceway out in Cape Town, and as always the Extreme Festival of Motorsport has catered for all the fans to come out and enjoy all the racing action out on track. In this episode we're going to bring you all the huge coverage that is the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup and all the riders about to do battle for the penultimate round of the 2018 championship. All the bikes fitted with the same Bridgestone R10 race rubber. Coming down to the crunch time of the championship now, and with 4 races left in the season, it's all about getting those vital championship points. Sven Gruner and Graham from Idar are the two men battling it out front. As the riders head to the grid now, joining me in the commentary booth is Dave Peterson. And Dave, looks like Sven Gruner's on pole position ahead of Graham from Idar and local man Rob Craig.
Right behind them, Jacques Ackerman, Gareth Besaidenote and Jaco Gous in 6th position.
Peter de Vos, Jade Goodsight and John Collard rounding out that 3rd row.
Then Michael Smith, Guy de Kock and Johan Leroux.
Safiso Temba, Ian Hardwood and Rian Oberhauser rounding out slightly at the back of the field there, but still improving their times.
Good to see Hannes de Vos back in the saddle, just ahead of JB Skuman. We go on board here with Safiso Temba. He is improving every single time out with that Kawasaki ZX10. Ian Hardwood gives him the big wave. And these riders are getting ready for the off as they come lining up onto the grid. Jade Goodsight makes a welcome reappearance in the series. Peter de Vos, he'll be looking for good results today.
Yeah, it's great to see the likes of Ruan Albahaza, Hannes de Vos, JB Skuman, Safiso Temba, Ian Hardwood around the Killarney racetrack. Not easy to get one of these 200 horsepower Kawasaki machines around the windy track and bumpy circuit. But that is the man who heads out on the grid and in the championship. Join us after the break then for Race 1 action down here in Cape Town. Hello and welcome back to the Killarney International Raceway track. It's now time for the race fans to enjoy one of the most popular forms of motorsport in South African racing. It's the Red Square Kawasaki ZX10 Masters Cup riders, and they are about to do battle here for race number 1. Sven Gruner is the man on pole position, Graham from Idar right behind him. Those are the 2 championship contenders for that number 1 plate. Here we go, under starters orders now. Who will get the whole shot? Great start there from Sven Gruner off pole position. Graham from Idar also with another blinder. Check out Jade Goodsight and the local men. Rob Craig and Jacques Ackerman are in the house.
Look out for Rob Craig and Jacques Ackerman. They've done so many laps around this track, they've worn a groove in it. So out front, it is definitely our championship leaders. Sven Gruner, Graham from Idar runs up on the inside. No, he can't do that. Rob Craig takes the inside line, and a great start, as you say, from Jade Goodsight, an off-road rider.
A little bit further behind there, Gareth Besaidenote, Johan Leroux, John Collard, Michael Schmidt, all with good starts in the mid-pack there. But this is where it is happening out front. Rob Craig on the inside, already starting to challenge Graham from Idar. This is exactly what from Idar, your current champion, did not want. He does not want the local men getting involved in his championship tussle with the man out front, Sven Gruner. But just behind them, brilliant ride here from Michael Smith. Look at this. Beautiful lean angle. Already got heat in those Bridgestone tyres and flat out stuff on the back straight for the first time.
270 k's per hour. They come down the back straight, hard on the brakes. The Cape Town corner from it, 6 leg out. Rob Craig up the inside. Good side hangs on the 4th place. Jaco Goos making ground as we go along as well. He's got past the local man Jacques Ackerman. This is a great ride though from Ackerman. Just shows you a bit of hometown knowledge, how it can help. And look at these bikes as they come up, Rob, against the wall. They're literally 1 meter from that wall at well over 200 k's per hour. Yeah. What a fantastic angle we've got.
You've got to get those elbows out, because some of these riders, look at that, already jostling down the straight. And of course, Jade Goodside and Jaco Goos would be the 2 men already on the first lap, getting those elbows out and swapping paintwork. That's what we like to see in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. We come out of turn 1 here on board with the local man Rob Craig. Remember, top national rider from years gone past, has won national races here at Killarney before, so he's really going to throw his name into the mix to pick up the win here. Frombedar's got to be very careful. He needs, remember, he's chasing down Sven in the championship, 25 points in it going into this race, so he's got all the work to do.
Ideally, he would like to get the local rider between themselves. So what Graham wants to do is try and get ahead, hold up a little bit Sven on the race, and let Rob Craig do some work. That's really what he's got to try and do, but it's so difficult here. Difficult place to overtake is Killarney. There are really only 2 overtaking points on the track, the end of this back straight and the end of the front straight as well. We're on board here with Jacques Ackerman, having a great ride. There he's got Jade Goodside in his sights. You can see a bit of dust from oil that had leaked out previously in a car race, so the guys are kind of avoiding that at the moment. Oh, Sven Gruner right through the oil patch.
I love that on the back straight, on the rev limiter, hearing those valves just bouncing away in those Kawasaki motors. Frombedaar, I think, like you said, he's got to start using the tactics here now. He's got to put Rob Craig between himself and Sven Gruner. Sven Gruner said this is one of his not so fast tracks at the moment, looking very fast out there. Now Gareth Bezuidenhout starting to close down on Jade Goodside. Hey, Frombedaar up the inside. Whoa. Turn 1, one of the favourite overtaking manoeuvres here. He got the drive coming out of the final turn, and we have a new change up, and that's exactly where Frombedaar needs to be. Here we go, another local man on the inside. That's Ackerman ahead now of Jade Goodside.
Goodside trying to come back underneath as they come out of turn number 1. Frombedaar, somebody's going in the dust coming up that corner. Rob Craig going on the inside, doesn't get through on Sven Gruner. Whoa, that was so close. Rob Craig, he's not letting this one go. We go on board with Rob as we come down towards that dam slip. They call it Rose Foundation nowadays. I still like to call it dams because I like the old names of this track.
Yeah, the classic stuff here at Killarney Raceway. Rob Craig, a little bit wide there. It's so easy to do that. Miss the apex and you sacrifice all your drive there, but the local man has not come just to play and be a backmarker here in the championship. He wants to put it out there in front of the local crowd. John T. Collard, another brilliant ride there from that man. Ian Hardwood improving his times, and Sifiso Temba, got to be one of the most improved riders throughout the whole season.
Yeah, great ride from Sifiso. We go on board with him. He's also been nominated to the board of motorsport, so good to see our rider getting involved in motorsport. Oh, that is Peter de Vos. Peter de Vos has gone down off camera somewhere. De Vos has crashed out of this race. He will be hating life.
And you never see Peter de Vos make those kind of mistakes, so obviously some kind of issue there out at front. Graham Frombedaar a little bit offline there, but you're able to do that because of the camber of the turn. He's still out front. Sven Gruner in second place. Rob Craig still no answer to Sven at the moment, so Graham Frombedaar will be hoping that'll change up. See Jade Goodside now just dropping a little bit back there now behind Jacques Ackerman and Gareth Bezuidenhout, so he'll try and get himself up there. Johan Leroux right in the mix as well. Oh, Sven Gruner, this is really impressive stuff. He came into this round really worried about being able to hold the pace of the likes of Rob Craig and Graham Frombedaar, and he's doing a brilliant job at the moment.
And all these midfield dices going on. Leroux right behind him, John T. Collard having a wonderful ride. Behind them, Michael Smith. And not far down the road is Guy Didcock. We haven't seen too much of him yet. But Frombedaar, this is the part of the track, to me, Sven Gruner looks a bit stronger here. Frombedaar's best part of the track is from the next corner on, down the back straight and onto the main straight. So it does look like the track is split into 2 halves for these riders at the moment.
Definitely. You can see the setup. Sven Gruner always likes to have the bike set up very front end. He really does attack corners, carries it slightly tight to line. Frombedaar, old GP style. He goes around the outside. Look how Frombedaar's got to stand on the pegs, get the weight over the front. That's to keep the front end down. That's even going 5th, 6th gear down the back straight. They bang it down into 2nd gear. Sven Gruner can smell blood. Sven Gruner is not here just to pick up 2nd place. He wants to wrap up things before we go into the final round.
What a fantastic race we have got. Rob Craig, local rider in the mix. Johan Leroux, got John T. Collard all over him like a rash. Collard looking to get past Johan, but Leroux is the demon of the late breakers in this race. down onto the main straight, onto the first corner here, up the inside. Does he do it? Oh, Sven Grunner's looking.
You can see the two different lines there. Fromberdahl just trail breaks very deep and turns the bike in late. Sven Grunner got that front end set up perfectly, just attacks the front end of that bike. That is, of course, Gareth Bazendnote a little bit further back than he would like to be. Remember, we see him challenging for the top 3. Another good ride from Michael Schmidt, another rider that has put his name on the map. Going into the 2019 season, Michael Schmidt could be a contender for a top 5 in the championship.
And Jaco Gous just in the background of those leading riders.
Johan Leroux, in 75 years old in the shade, past Jonty Collard on the inside. That's what you got to love about this category.
On the brakes, you watch out for him on the brakes. Now, 2 leaders out front, putting a little bit of a gap now on Robert Craig. So the local rider just losing out that lap. He must have made a mistake somewhere out on the track. Jade Goodside goes through the shot, having a great ride. And there's that guys, Collard and Leroux behind them. Jonty's thinking, how can I get past this guy? We're on board with Jade Goodside, down the back straight. Probably quicker than he's ever been on this bike. Mind you, did ride East London, so pretty similar speeds, 280 k's per hour.
Yeah, Killarney's not the easiest track. You can see him bang it down the gears. Not the easiest track to come and learn. You've got to know where the bumps are. You've got to know where the brake markers are. So good side, just be learning with every single lap, and I'm sure he's going to pick up the pace. Going down into turn 1, this is where Sven Grunner really does come alive, and he's made the move. Fromberdahl just leaves such a massive gap there. He's really got to close that line. So we've got to change up in the lead. I wonder if Fromberdahl's having some issues. Last lap around didn't look too comfortable, and his lap times have dropped just a little bit. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the man with the number 1 plate, because certainly not happy on that Kawasaki bike of his. And Sven Grunner coming into the race meeting saying, I don't think I can win. Well, you're out front at the moment, and that's 25 points.
I don't think Fromberdahl's riding a bit tactically here. He's going to see what Sven's up to. Maybe he thought, I don't want to lead at this stage. We've got a couple of laps to go. Let him go in front. I'll suss him out. And once I got him sussed out, I'll be able to make a move on him.
He's
a big tank slapper.
That is a massive moment from Graham Fromberdahl there. So he's got some kind of issues on that back. That is incredible stuff, because how he held on to that bike coming out of there, that is insane. Fromberdahl has got some issues, and if he didn't, he certainly does now on that bike.
Well, he's just got to bring it home now, because the checkered flag is waiting for them as the rest of the riders stream through that fast Malmesbury corner onto the back straight. We're on board with Rob Craig. That's Fromberdahl just ahead of him. Rob Craig has got him lined up. Fromberdahl's got a problem. Yeah, definitely a problem on the bike. From that tank snapper, you can see that he had a problem. Looked over his shoulder. Rob Craig is going to skirt it down to the finish. Sven Grunner out front by, 2-3 seconds now. Just in the length of that straight, Fromberdahl had a huge problem after that tank slapper.
I wonder if it's something to do now with the front end of Fromberdahl's bike. You can see him looking down, just no confidence in that bike after a massive tank slapper there like that. Maybe some kind of issue on that bike, certainly. Sven Grunner is the man who's picked up 25 points coming into this race. He would have loved that. Rob Craig, Mad Max Kawasaki, Graham Fromberdahl, Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki there in 3rd place. Let's catch up with Graham and find out what happened.
Pretty much sat there the last 3 laps, felt I could go past it any time I wanted to, and lined him up into Malmesbury. And entering Malmesbury, the steering damper snapped, and well, I suppose lucky to be here, the steering damper snapped and it went out of control. I thought the wheel was collapsing or something. I wasn't sure, and it sort of saved itself slightly through Malmesbury, and as soon as I got on the gas again on the straight, went lock to lock again, and then I saw the damper hanging off, so I knew we were done. I set to coast across the line and only managed to get a 3rd.
Hello and welcome back after a much needed ad break there to catch our breaths after what was an incredible race number 1 of the Red Square Kawasaki ZX10 Masters Cup. As you can see, the Extreme Festival of Motorsport really do not only cater for all the riders and drivers out on track, but for the whole family atmosphere around the entire circuit. Once again, you can see we've got some red squares getting ready now for the riders, get them nice and refreshed before they head out for race number 2. Bridgestone tyres still fitted there, tyre pressures will be done, and some of the older statesmen just need a little nap in between races. No such problems for Sifiso Temba there. Raring to go as always. Bridgestone tyres offering massive amounts of grip out on track as always, and that's what we like to see. Jonty Collard getting his hands dirty. The riders can't afford mechanics in this class. You've got a mechanic and ride all by yourself. Donnie Moritz, South African legend in motorcycle racing, here to help out. Graham Fromberdahl just showing us what happened there in that incident. So lucky to hold on to that bike. Let's see if they can get that motorcycle fixed and out for race number 2. Right, Dave, I don't know about you, but I can just sense and feel the tension, the anger, the excitement just building up between these riders now in the final stage of what has been an incredible 2018 season as they line up. 3 races remaining after this.
A lot of anger. I used to be angry, you know. I used to hate everybody on the line.
You have to go there, and you've got to take that into the race. This local man, Rob Craig, looked one of the most intense riders I've ever seen. Jacques Ackerman just wants to go racing. Peter de Vos got his bike fixed and ready to go racing. Under starters orders in for race number 2.
Who gets the whole shot? The red lights go on and off, and away we go. Great start from the front row. Rob Craig a little bit tidy off the line. Got to be said. So it's Fambadar around the outside. Yes, Graham Fambadar ahead of his arch rival Sven Gruner. Mid-pack as usual. Jonty Collard, good start from him. One of the riders off onto the first corner. Looked like could have been JB Skuman, maybe. One of the back markers off on the first corner. Down into turn number 2. They stream through the track in perfect condition here today at Killarney for the second race.
Yeah, you can see by the lap times that they've produced so far this weekend, the track really is in good condition. Graham Fambadar, we were talking about that anger. He needs to now get angry out front. He cannot afford to finish behind Sven Gruner. He's got to go pick up those championship points. So let's see what he can do. He's got Sven Gruner and Rob Craig right on his tail. Jacques Ackerman, a much better start there with Jade Goodside. So let's see if he can just bunch up a little bit now. The wind has picked up ever so slightly. You can see by the trees, and that down in Killarney does play a massive role on trying to hold on to these bikes.
Huge wind coming up now. It's up to 80, 90 k's per hour is that wind. These riders have to be very careful coming into this corner and turn number 1 because it's so easy to misjudge your braking with that wind. Also, good idea to stay in the middle of the track because the wind can actually blow you off.
Yeah.
Graham Fambadar already pulled a slight gap, and Rob Craig in second place. This is great from Rob Craig, and this is what Graham Fambadar needs for that championship. On board with Rob as we come out of that turn number 1 up to turn number 2. And he's flying there. Oh, and he goes on the inside. And Sven Gruner goes to the outside this time around. And Jade Goodside behind him having a great ride.
Yeah, Jade Goodside in another good battle there with Gareth Bazadinot and Jacques Ackerman. So Jacques Ackerman, the local man, really throwing in some local flavour there with Rob Craig. Great to have them part of the weekend's racing and just showing the local fans how it's done. Jade Goodside, another impressive ride. Just shows the versatility of that rider that he can really just climb on anything. I think he's racing his Ducati here this weekend as well in the other classes. So brilliant stuff there from Jade. And he's right in the mix there for a top 5 as we go on board with the local man. You carry your speed, your 4th gear, accelerate hard, and then just use all that momentum
Jade
down the back straight.
Over the curb coming out of Malmesbury. Good idea, as I said, stay in the middle of the track. You can see them streaming down that back straight. Gruner trying to go around the outside of Rob Craig. And we're 3 abreast going into turn number 8. Jacques Ackerman. Are there 8 turns? I think there are around this track.
There's so many turns. When you're out there racing, you think there's 100 turns, trying to hang on to the handlebars, using all 200 horsepower that's available to you. Look at Graham Fambadar. That anger has come out.
He is not holding on.
Sven Gruner, that's exactly what he needs to do. He can see Fambadar is getting away, and I think he knows, I don't know if I'm going to catch Fambadar, but I can certainly finish second and damage limitations and take that championship lead into the final round at Swartkorps.
A couple of our back markers going through there as well, and that is Safisa Temba, great ride. Ian Hardwood involved with him there. So these are the 2 riders. They've been dicing the whole day long. And there's some of our other back markers. That's Hannes de Vos. Got JB Skuman just behind him. They're riding in tandem out there. They're in 16th and 17th positions at the moment. This is a bit of a dice going for second place. Fambadar is stretching it out front. He's got a 4-second lead at the moment. And now Rob Craig will be thinking, okay, can I help him? Do I want to help him even? He just wants to finish on the podium, get as many points as he can. Yeah,
this is a little battle, a little bit further back there between Johan Leroux, Peter de Vos and Michael Smith. So Peter de Vos recovering right there. It was Rob Craig still harassing Sven Gruner there. Graham Fambadar is out front. We heard in the interval that it was in fact a broken steering damper from race number 1 that cost Fambadar that second place and the potential to win the overall 25 points. Johan Leroux, another brilliant job. Looks like that nap in between the races really helped him.
I think he needed that one. You know, when you are 175 years old in the shade, you need a nap between races. But this is the dice we're looking at the moment. Rob Craig on the Mad Max Kawasaki has got Sven Gruner lined up. Does he get good drive as we come up into Quarry Bend? Rob Craig runs up on the inside. Oh, Gruner is holding on to the outside arm, but Rob Craig has got it. Fambadar has stretched that lead. Look at that. Handlebars shaking as he goes down towards Damstip.
And look how he's just gripping those bars, getting his head over the screen to keep the weight down. You can hear that's 3rd gear. You'll roll on, hold 3rd gear, maybe short shift 4th into the back straight then. Brilliant stuff there, and brilliant on board to show just how physically you have to work around the circuit to get one of these bikes around in the lap times that they are. 15.1 last time round for Fambadar, a little bit slower than race number 1 where they're low 14s. But here we go, Michael Schmidt, Peter de Vos just at the back of that group now. So maybe some issues still on that bike, but a good battle nonetheless. But Van Breda is checked out. This is the battle for second and third, and not too far behind. Jacques Ackerman is starting to close in at couple of tenths of a second now per lap. We could have a three-way battle for that podium. That's exactly what Van Breda would want.
And Jaco Koos got a bad start. There he is with Jade Goodside. They're mixing it up down the backside. Oh, Koos on the brakes. How late is he on the brakes? Jade Goodside runs up the hill a little bit, turns it back down, gets on the gas. This is going to be second gear, whoop, into third gear. Now, we're on the brakes down into turn one. Van Breda's got 3, 4, 5 seconds now over the rest of that pack. But a great ride and a great dice from Rob Craig. He's holding off Sven Gruner at the moment. Gruner will be thinking, hang on a moment, I'm going to lose, 9 points now? Can't afford that.
Yeah, he can't afford that going into the final round. Gareth Bazan on the brakes here now going into turn 2. You can see a couple of little bumps and ripples there. You really do have to just coast the front end over that. Hold the tight line. Beautiful line there from Gareth Bazan. Short shift third and just hang cable through the fast left-hander. Come through a little bit further back, that dice between Sifiso Temba and Ian Harwood. Ruan Olberhauser not too far behind there as well, but Van Breda, the anger really has come out. Red mist from the red square rider, and he's now out front. Jacques Ackerman is starting to bring Gareth Bazan out, and if these two in second and third place, if they start fighting it out, we could have that big battle.
On the back straight, round the outside, Sven Gruner, hard on the brakes. No, Rob Craig still holds the inside line. Not scared to run it right up the banking of Cape Town corner. Now he'll squirt it down through the kink, up against the pit wall. Sven Gruner takes a tighter line. Rob Craig takes a much wider line. That's local track knowledge. That's what he's doing there.
Yeah, I remember racing Rob Craig around here. It was impossible to pass the man because he just knew every single line. Black mark in the way. That is Hannes de Vos. That is in Van Breda's way. They're going into turn 1, but he's got a massive lead, so he can take his time and just get around the back marker and get the 25 points. Oh, Van Breda's gone down. Our leader has gone down. Van Breda has made a massive mistake and he has tagged the back marker and gone down. That is, how can you do that? You had a massive lead. This is a big dent in his championship.
Hannes de Vos, yes, it's Hannes de Vos that is involved in. We saw them going on the brakes into Holzhoek. Graham wasn't sure which to go, and they've had to bring out the red flag. Of course, this race, will we restart? We'll just have to wait and see what the organisers decide. Clear up some of the debris. Hannes de Vos limping away. Van Breda also looks like he's in a bit of pain. That was a great big accident from those two riders. Obviously, de Vos coming out of the turn. Graham Van Breda tried to get underneath him and he's crashed the bike. So red flag comes out. We're just hearing from the lap scorers and the organisers. Does look like they're going to call this race, Rob. They've done enough racing right now, 8 laps. So the results will go back a lap to 7 and the riders will be pulled off the track. So the results will go back a lap. Now, if my mathematics tells me correctly, Graham Van Breda will actually be leading on the lap before that he crashed. Let's take a look at the replay of the crash. You just see the end of it really there. Van Breda and de Vos's bike is up in the air.
That's Vos there. I mean, turn 1, you carry a lot of speed, and Van Breda's made a massive mistake there. And he will be the luckiest man in Cape Town if he picks up the overall one, which he does. Graham Van Breda has picked up the 25 points ahead of Rob Craig and Sven Gruner. Jacques Ackerman there in 4th. Gareth Bazan in 5th.
It was a very good battle. I mean, turn 2, we swapped places a couple of times. On the brakes, yeah, it was a good tussle. I really enjoyed it. I've got to say thanks to my mechanic Dave, who prepared a brilliant motorcycle, and Mad Max for getting me here. And to Red Square and Bridgestone, awesome day. Thanks very much.
Graham Van Breda lucky to keep his championship hopes alive after that massive incident. Let's get his point of view.
The guys here at Killarney tell me that they work on lights, they don't work on flags. When I asked the marshal why were there no blue flags out, they say they work on lights. And I'm guessing Hannes and the back markers, they never saw any blue lights because I tried about 3 or 4 times and the guys didn't move. Eventually I saw a gap up the inside, turned up the inside, came 2/3 through, and he just turned the wheel on me and the bike was taken out from underneath me. But I suppose lucky to walk away okay, but a wrecked motorbike unfortunately.
Let's take a look then at the championship points going into the final rounds. Sven Gruner just ahead of Graham Van Breda out in Class A. Jaco Koos, Gareth Bazan there in Class B. Class C is all about Peter de Vos and Johan Leroux. Join us then for the final round of action at Swartkops Raceway on the 20th of October. All this ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation.